gentleman, the other gentleman in white, did he stay and go? Today last day, not last day, I'm sorry, tomorrow. Okay. But very special today, other very important. අදයි හෙටයි පින්වතුන්ට විශේෂ මේක ලැබෙන්න තියෙන මොන හරි තියෙනවා නම් හෙට උදේ වෙනකොට තව ලොකු වෙනසක් වෙනවා පොඩ්ඩක් ඔහොම යන්න. How many of you finish reading the entirely the Kanda Vagga, the place I told you, the pages? Anyone who couldn't read up to now? That page number I said, one something? 170 or every? 282 in the other one, right? The Salayatana Vagga. Okay. So in the morning I came, I told that the 6 sense organs, that one you have to, which page? 282. Okay. That one you have to finish by tomorrow evening. It's very important. That's like you should have read already the Khandas, then that prepares you for that. That's a more extension version of contemplation. That's how it is. It's just a more extension version of contemplation, but leading from that to this. Okay, how many of you know if somebody shout at you or do something or say something good even, that you can consciously, if you pay some attention, feel, that is body feeling perception. This is a body feeling perception experience, or at least feeling perception like that you can take. Now even what you're seeing now is an experience. How many of you can consciously make that this thing, and like what I'm speaking, if it's good or bad, doesn't matter. You can, if you taste something nice or tasty or sour, whatever, experience through the senses, can you note it like this is only body feeling, feeling perception, something like that? How many of you, can you raise your hand? You actually tell me, okay? If you don't tell me or no. Who doesn't? Can they raise their hand? Who doesn't kind of notice? You don't? Sorry?
Not yet.
How do you, what amount, how much you can? Now when I'm speaking, the sound comes, it hits your ear. So you can't fast away, think like that. But generally what you have read, does it make a mental picture that this is, generally you can know?
It does.
Generally. That's how it should be. Generally I'm meaning. At least generally can you, with සාමාන්‍යයෙන් විදියට නිකම් මේ මොකද ඒක සාමාන්‍ය විදියට වේදනා සංඥා කියලා මේවා පේන එකක් නෙමෙයි එහෙම. විතර සාමාන්‍ය විදියට මේ දැන් මම කටහඬමයි කටහඬ ඔලු කනේ වැදිලා කට කියන්නේ ශබ්දය කනේට සිතුවිල්ලක් එනවා මෙහෙම සිතුවිලි ටිකක්. ඒවා වේදනා සංඥානේ. ෆාස්ට් වෙන්නේ. ඉතින් ඒක එහෙම වේදනා සංඥා කියලා නිකන් හිතේ නෝට් කරගන්න පුළුවන්ද බෑද? බැරි කවුරු හරි ඉන්නවනේ කියන්නේ. එහෙම පුළුවන් නේද? බැරි කමක් තියනවද? ඒකට ඒව ගැන අපි ස්ටඩි කරානේ අනිත්‍යයි දුකයි නිකන් හිස් වගේ අරවා මේවා. ඉතින් ඒතකොට ඒක හිස් වගේ කියලා කල්පනා කරන්න පුළුවන්ද? චුට්ටක් හරි. ඒතකොට දැන් කවුරු බැන්නොත් ඒ බැනිල්ල ටික ලොකුවට ගනීද අඩුවෙන් ගනීද? ටිකක් අඩු වෙන්නේ. අරක ගොඩක් කරොත් අරක තවත් වැඩි වෙයි. It's okay. So now when I'm speaking, the sound wave strikes your ear, and then you have a conscious experience of, you feel, you perceive, and so on, and you think. That is your mental reaction. So these things you have already read so many times that is empty, is useless, it is impermanent, is conditioned, and so on. With that kind of I would say mental familiarity, At least if somebody shouts or something negative or even something pleasant, your reaction should be less, hopefully. Okay? So it's a general this thing you must, that's how it is. So because if you have read the most of it, that's the reason my teacher has told to read, I think, like the whole section. If you read only one sutta, that won't happen. Now when you read the whole section, your mind is forced to contemplate. And I will read another sutta which explains when that sutta was told first time, they didn't attain, the bhikkhunis, they didn't attain any state of high attainment. But when Buddha told that disciple to tell the same discourse tomorrow, and when the discourse was told the next day, then only they all had some experience. So now in our case here, it's not twice, thrice, about so many times we are getting. So it's like tuck, 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 it might break. Okay? Because they only need 2 knocks. Okay, that time, Buddha's time. We need at least so many knocks. If we continue the knocks, maybe still our head is crackable. Okay. So, otherwise, this we have still the chance, I believe. So we familiarize the teaching, something might spark. So in these 5 days, you're getting the opportunity for that type of exposure, and that's little rare. Just 5 days, I have made it short as possible because people, they have 10 days vipassana, all that. So if you're really serious, at least 21 days I see. I stayed 14 days with my teacher, with the teachings, and in solitude, not like this, alone. Only meeting my teacher every other day. And he would not go through like this, But we had the inspiration that he was practicing. I'm also practicing. I'm not that I'm not practicing. But he was a very solid, powerful example of it. So that was very, of course, inspiring. I was the only person, because in all those forest monasteries, there are monks. It's not lay people. It's not made for lay people. It's mainly for. So unless someone comes with some great suffering and pain, all these type of people become monks. They have no other option. So I have created now, this is not the right way I feel. So I created already a lay platform. Even monks can come and start this on the day 1 to practice towards Nibbana. So that they know, even if they become monks, this is what they should do in their internal practice. And even if they have to be in the forest, they know the main practice. The key is called Yoniso Manasikara, Dhamma Anupassana. The main thing how to do it, you get to know. If you misinterpret this is a big problem in the sasana. The key to attain Nibbana. You can make other small mistakes regarding the rules, regarding some kind about the sila, and even the way of samadhi. But Buddha's unique contribution to attain Nibbana, actually that cannot be transmitted unless somebody also has some experience of it. Then the experience also has to be from the Buddha's instruction. There's no lineage in Buddha's actual, if you look at his advice, and you can know from here, there's no transmission from a guru or like a teacher. It is in the Hindu tradition there is. A monk giving and asking how is your meditation and how it's happening. This is actually, the people will be depending on a monk. There has to be someone, okay, we have karmically meeting somebody, but if you look at the advice of the Buddha in the last days, and you can see the spirit of the suttas, he's the teacher, he's the master. And you have to get connected to the Buddha. That's why I tell you to go alone, read with him, be with him. It's not something I'm just coming now and telling. I knew when I was a very young boy with my teacher already. It's long time ago. So those days I was not available to people easily. I was going on my own path. So I used to briefly tell them also, read the suttas, read this, read that. That's it. I was not able to give you like spoon feed anybody. And time to time I came in 2012 a little bit, then 2017, and then now. Now I'm actually doing it more. Maybe I'm very close to passing away, leaving this planet. So I hope you'll get this. Don't waste your time. You don't need me or anybody, but don't neglect going to the Master himself. If you really want to come out of this, to get the real wisdom, it's up to you also. We have, each one have different preferences. Okay? And this still we have it. There will be a time in case we are born again, this is lost also. Then this whole thing is lost, You have the name Buddha, you'll have all these names, but we rely on people who have some studied or some knowledge, and we don't know how much they represent the real instructions. Now itself it's happening in a certain way. So there's counteracting sort of energy forces working in the other way too, relying on but how long it will last we don't know, because other way is more easy to come and quickly take over. And the ones who really attain or whatever, they don't really appear again here. Their desires less, going further away from this lower karma, and finally no karma, they not rise more. So where did I stop? Do you have any? Did I go that far? No, not much before. 254 I stopped? No. Where did I stop last? Today morning? Which is the page? Kiyada page එක මට සිංහල එකේ කමන්න කීයද?
සිංහල 196 I said.
Here, all, yeah. 161. English one 161. Sinhalese one. Mahatya පුළුවන් නේ. Okay, 160 page, Rising of Suffering. All එකට ඉස්සෙල්ලා ටිකක් තියෙන්නේ. මොකක්ද මේ page එක? නෑ. මේ සියලු දේ කියන එකනේ මොකක් හරි තියෙනවනේ මෙතනලා. ඡන්ද සූත්‍රය නෙමෙයි. අභිනන්දන කියලා ඒවල මොකක් හරි. අභිනන්දන හරි. Page number 160 එක දෙක කියලා අභිනන්දන හරි ඒ වගේ අර්ථයක් එන එකසිය හැට සිංහලෙන් උත් 160 සිංහලෙන්. In English it is 160. One of the Chinese becoming Sri Lankan slowly. Sinhalese. I told you. They are transforming while reading the suttas. 160. Delight. ඒකට මොකක්ද කියන්නේ මාත් ඉතින් අභිනන්දන. Abhinandan eking. Because one who seeks delight in the eye seeks delight in suffering. One who seeks delight in suffering, I say, is not freed from suffering. One who seeks delight in the ear, in the nose, in the tongue, in the body, in the mind, seeks delight in suffering. Now sometimes in the mind you will have some kind of fantasy, some kind of, it can happen because what you have accumulated, like when you're in solitude, sometimes especially, it will come to your mind. And you can see in your body also then certain changes will come. Okay? So you should now apply like this. Now you must make a stop for this. This can't go on. Okay? This is a time for you can clear these distractions even while you're in solitude. So you have the tool, this wisdom. So you should remind yourself now, if you go on allowing this particular, even in your thought level, and you must that this will, this will be waste. This is going to increase if I allow it. There is some reduction because you're not allowing it to manifest externally, physically, but still at the thought level, it's like bubbling. So those things when they come, especially regard to, I can't tell directly. You will have to guess sensual thoughts. Okay, it takes a long time for them to disappear. So facing the truth and the fact, indirectly, this will very help you. You have to replace this so that you're not suppressing or anything. You're putting a counter wisdom, and especially in a retreat like this, when it comes in a thought level, it's very helpful when you can put like that, so that you're putting the real plaster to that internal mental process. And if you can feel this kind of knowledge into you, these things will be easily handled. And they will disappear. They slowly, not disappear, they will take some time, but reduce, they will reduce. So it applies to even food or anything. So, because one who seeks delight in the eye seeks delight in suffering. So if you just allow that, even don't think, it's okay. It's going to, you're delighting in suffering. If you allow, so there's no pleasure at all that is not going to bring you like suffering, if you allow it. Because it's all stimulating desire, and more desire you're having within or you're increasing it, you'll be increasing suffering in your life. One who seeks delight in the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, seeks delight in suffering. One who seeks, I'm talking about especially the thoughts, because here you may not have sounds, from the five senses, but in your mind you might have, it might come, it should come. That means you're in solitude. If you're not having, that means you are busy with something in the outside world, talking, meeting, running about here, and maybe seeing things. And by now I think it should have settled down for you all. You would have got some absorbed into this. Matya komada? Ape matya hondin innada? පොඩ්ඩක් ඉවසගෙන යමු කරදර වෙන්න එපා. Because one who seeks delight then in the mind seeks delight in suffering. One who seeks delight in suffering, I say, is not freed from suffering. One who does not seek delight in eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, does not seek delight in suffering. One who does not, so when you try to overcome it, what is happening to you? You are not delighting in suffering. You are running away from suffering. Not running away by trying to avoid the thought or trying to avoid the object. It's by you are doing the right thing, replacing by right awareness and the reminder of the Buddha about these universal laws and truths. That way you are going to, that means what happens to you? That avidya is decreasing in you, ignorance is decreasing in you. One who does not seek delight in the eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, does not seek delight in suffering. One who does not seek delight in suffering, I say, is freed from suffering. Then we go to this 1, 2, then the third one there, rising of suffering. Tungveni etanama, Tutraya. Bhikkhu, the rising, continuation, production and manifestation of the I is the rising of suffering. Now that I told you to imagine like empty space or like Nibbana even, and from there you're getting a body. So you are getting an eye, you're getting an ear, the nose, a tongue, or a mother's womb, which is initially empty. And then slowly those organs start to manifest. එක ඔය ඉන්ද්‍රියම් එන්න පටන් ගන්නවා බඩ ඇතුලේ අම්මගේ කියමුකෝ. එතකොට නැත්තම් මේ ආකාශයේ නිර්වාණය ඉඳගෙන අපි ඒ කිසිම දෙයක් නැති තැනකදී මේ ඇහැ කන නාසය මතුවෙලා යනවා. එතකොට මේක එහෙම කල්පනා කරන්න ඕනේ. එතකොට when you are looking like that, rising, continuation, production and manifestation of the I is the rising of suffering. දුක තමයි ඔය එන්නේ. ඒක එහෙම දකින්න ඕනේ චුට්ට චුට්ට. Continuation of disease, ලෙඩ එන්න පටන් ගන්නවා. You are getting suffering. You are beginning to get disease. To thin air, even to some states of existence, they don't have, like in the Devaloka, do you think they have ICU and what is this? Maybe emergency or hospitals? What do you think? In the Devaloka? They might have a mortuary, no? No mortuary, like they just disappear. They sweat a bit, they say, that's how it's explained. They get to know soon they are going to disappear from that plane. So they don't have other sufferings of which we are having. There is supposed to be a time in the human plane also when the lifespan was long. They had no diseases as such. That's old age, I think, like that. It says like 1,000, 2,000 years, the lifespan of human beings. It's supposed to come in the period of the next Buddha. The suttas it explains. So this is very important. Still, even in those states of existence, the birth is there, so there is a death. Even in the highest worlds, that will happen, a disappearing moment. So here, rising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death, the rising of ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, is the rising of suffering, the continuation of disease, the manifestation of aging and death. The cessation, subsiding and passing away of the eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind, is the cessation of suffering. The subsiding of disease, the passing away of aging and death. Then in the same line of this thing, okay, 168, Jati මොකක් කරන්නේ? ජාති කියලා ලොකු ටයිටල් එක ඊට පස්සේ okay. ජාති කියන එක ඊට පස්සේ ඒ ළඟම තියෙන 168 in the English and 170 in the Sinhalese. Subject to birth. At Savasti bhikkhus, all is subject to birth. Now this is at Savasti, okay? This is how it is recorded by, it was told in Savasti. Bhikkhus, all is subject to birth. And what bhikkhu is that? All that is subject to birth. I is subject to birth. Forms, eye consciousness, eye contact, whatever feeling arises with eye contact as condition, that too is subject to birth. The ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition. Now you know they apply to all the sense organs. මේ හැම ඉන්ද්‍රියකටම මේ කෙටි කරලා ලියලා තියෙන්නේ. දන්නවනේ දෙක. So you have to apply to all these sense organs. That is important for your meditation picture. That meditation picture is the one that is opening your wisdom eye. Remember that. And in silence, these two should go together. Then only this will start to slowly get massage and open. That's why I tell you to be alone and to do this, all these things. So this knowledge is very simple, but this is not simple. This is normally taken as very, very tough. It's not very tough actually. If you're practicing, you get an idea. But this was told when the disciple was really mature. It was told by the Buddha immediately, and they got that. Mainly they became arhants actually. The suttas are told where when he attained arhantship. So rarely lay people get this, kind of exposure. Even I was surprised such suttas were there, told by a Buddha, because I would never know, And when I first read in my first retreat with Bhante, the ear, the tongue, the body, the mind, whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition, that too is subject to birth. That means it includes us body, feeling, perception, and all these other feeling, perception, and all that in consciousness. Seeing thus, Bhikkhu, the instructed noble disciple, experienced revulsion toward the eye, toward the forms, towards eye consciousness. So you should have a mental picture when you're reading this: eye, then the form, then eye consciousness, contact, and what is feeling, perception, okay, and mental formation for this. Seeing thus, Bhikkhu, the instructed noble disciple, experienced revulsion towards I. So each part you will see you are withdrawing your attachment and identification. That mental exercise should go on. This is a kind of, now when it happens like that, there is no more for the state of being. Now if you really get that fully, this is how the Arahants, they really realize that this is the end of their rebirth. So at least imagine how the Arahants are thinking, okay? That will also lead you to real experience of this. I hope you all get this. This is a very important exercise. When you are reading like that, you have to get that slowly. So when you are doing this more, you get the art of it. Now this is like a new language. At least one sentence you must be able to write in these 5 days. One sentence like learning a new language. But that will be on the right path, in the right direction. One day you will have to get liberated. This will be only one same cycle anywhere you are going to be born. Seeing thus, Bhikkhu, the instructed noble disciple experienced revulsion toward the eye, toward the forms, towards eye consciousness, towards eye contact. He understands there is no more for this state of being. So this is applied in so many ways. All is subject to sickness, all is subject to death, and so on. I'm not going to go to all of that. Okay, 172. Nigajala 1. Here they 172. No. Nigajala. We did this, no? Did we?
Yes.
Yesterday or today?
Today.
Today. Today morning. How did you go back? Okay. Okay, then no problem. We did Samidhi also, no? 1, 2. We did that. This also nice, we do it again. Okay, one time. Samidhi. 174. Well, I did overdid with you all today. So let me, but some people who have rushed, I mean in your case too, go back slowly. Try to get that slow focus. That's already you have covered something, so now go back and really try to get the real one. So you have time for that. 174.
181 single.
181 single is 1. Samidhi, ne? On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Rajagaha in the bamboo grove, the squirrel's sanctuary. Then the Venerable Samidhi approached the Blessed One and said to him, Venerable Sir, it is said Mara Mara, in what way? I was going to tell you one experience of mine where I saw the face of Mara. Shall I tell it now before I forget?
Yes.
This was in deep jungle one time. It was in the jungle, the army I was telling, they're giving me food. Army small post is there, like 30 kilometers from the nearest, you could say, Hain culture. And then before that is all, you don't have roads, you go by, like there are small water. මොකද ආරට කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? දන්නවද ආර? ආරවල් කියන්නේ ආරවල්. ඔය වතුර එහෙම යන්නේ. ඒ ආරවල් වැලි තියෙනවා. Canals, eh?
Yeah, small canal.
They are small canal, dried canals. Okay, so there's like sand. So I have some good karma in that way. There's a team of people with special, with vehicle, 4-wheel drives, and so that when they get stuck in the mud, there's so many experiences where they will put the chain and tie it and then pull the vehicle out from the mud. Like that we had to go. One time we had to go underwater also. The river and fully accelerated. I am inside, full all the screens like up and racing to the other side. So in this place, my hut was like 2 kilometers away from the army post, small army post. I was planning it all the time, long years back. When I knew the army post was there, then I knew I could get some food. And then finally I managed to be there any amount of time if I wanted to. So there, one of the trips, I had a bear, once I left my luggage and went, there's something, some medicine or something in the bag, in the big bag. I told you, I don't know, very funny situation where they carry my bag, one very big bag. It's like there's another human being inside. Really, and they also tell it, I had a bag cake bante, but it was like, it was good karma for me. This gentleman was telling later on. They don't know what it was. Maybe if they listen to this speech, they will get to know what it is. It's a portable toilet. I had a portable, because I have some, this also will go away now. I have some medicine here. I take like a plastic, the portable means like, because you go to the bush and there's a pit dug there. There's no real proper, so easy for me. If I go to the open bush, you have to go several places, like one day, one area. If you find a sort of if you like to know the jungle life, those days. So there one pit means easy for you, then you'll be, so there I have to keep balance this thing, and later I put it somewhere in case I come again. Maybe there are 2 of these portable in the in that area. Somebody might be wondering who, the hunters or anyone who come, who has been here. So when I was like this there, one occasion, I told you a lot of snakes, and one day when we came, like the clay wall, it's a rough, just a patch up wall like this size, and then from here down the sticks are dry, been dissolved because there's floods. Suddenly floods are there, then they are below the like the wall, it's like only the sticks, bamboo sticks. So there, but this clay wall, one time it's all like the whole window, everything is like this broken. And then to see the bear has just pushed it. Then only I realized the strength of the bear actually. And I had one of my medicine bottles where he has tried to open it, and he has put pressure on that plastic and his fingerprint is there. I wanted to bring it, maybe sometime people, I don't know where it's this thing. So the people who helped me to clean the area and just to make me settle, they would have, you'd see this, you'd not feel like staying there. Like this is not my cup of, but they don't attack like that, So when I was there in that place, I can tell you stories like so many, if I'm going on, but I tell you about the Mara experience. There, suddenly after some practice, some time, I was getting like extreme thoughts of, I would say, sensual desires. Okay, it was terrible, like too much, like in the mind, like intoxicated. So then finally, I was trying to, think of this, that, and then finally, I was laying down on the, that I have a wooden, the door they had like a wooden door. They have put it like like a bed on top of 4 rocks. So it's little high, so snakes don't, like little high means like this high. The snakes won't come. That I am little bit safe. So I lie down there and try to. Then slowly it was subsiding, and I closed my eyes. I was like practicing. Then suddenly in the jungle, I can see the jungle, myself lying down, and I could see this big face, huge face, and a slight, and it came to my slight, what is this? I don't know what is this, a kind of a smile or what, but the big face slowly disappearing. And so I could then understand with lot of desires and all that is the Maras, doing. Whenever you have, it is definitely with the Mara. And I'm sure anger also. A lot of anger, all the 5 hindrances. So there I would say maybe personally he came as a person. So it came to my mind that time. It's like a vision, yeah. But it's rational to think, how it's connected with the type of thoughts you had and kind of this thing. I can't tell you exactly, it's a very funny round big face. Like in the jungle it was like there in other side of the river. Like in the mind side. And slowly it was going away. And I could see my thoughts also slowly, that type of thoughts are just fading away. I hope you all will not have this experience. That you practice enough and Buddha will be always beside you. Samadhi approaching the Blessed One and said to him, Venerable Sir, it is said Mara Mara. In what way, Venerable Sir, might there be Mara or the description of Mara? Where there is the I, Samadhi, where there is forms, I consciousness, things to be cognized by I consciousness, there Mara exists, or the description of Mara. Where there is ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, where there are mental phenomena, mind consciousness, things to be cognized by the mind consciousness, there Mara exists, or the description of Mara. Where there is no I, Samadhi, no forms, so you must imagine that if these eyes, ears, all this is going to disappear. No forms, no I consciousness, no things to be cognized by the I consciousness. There Mara does not exist, nor any description of Mara. Where there is no ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind, no mental phenomena, no mind consciousness, no things to be cognized by the mind consciousness. There Mara does not exist, nor any description of Mara. So it's applied to this one also, Venerable Sir. It is said a being, in what way? This is very nice if you can apply for this. As I told you in the morning, like a bird, if it is fallen on the ground, dead, and if some animal comes and bites and takes the pieces, you can see the eyes going out and so on. You can see when that form, that picture is broken, the idea you can clearly see plainly. It is just flesh. It is simply just like rubber. Something you can very clearly notice the anatta. So this is very important now that the gross physical form and also the feelings that you are getting, feelings, perceptions, you are getting the idea of when you can break down and see or reflect, the idea of a person goes away. because you see one disintegrating and another rising. Okay, with the experience or awareness of impermanence, the idea of no self also gets stronger. No self is not something you're trying to imagine. That's the real nature, real truth. තේරෙනවද මං කියනකොට? සිංහලෙන් කියවනම් හොඳයිද? මොකද්ද? තේරෙන්න ඕනේ නේ? තේරෙන්නේ නැති කමක් නැහැනේ. තේරෙනවද නැහැ? ගැටලුවක් නැද්ද? මොකද්ද? සිංහලෙන් උත් කියන්න. ඒතර පැය 6ක් කියයි. පැය 3ක් කියන්නේ ඒක. එහෙම කැමති නම් මට කියන්න බෑ. දැන් හොඳට පණ තියෙනවනේ ඒකින්ද. අස්වාකට වදිද්දට මේ අමාරුවෙන් තමයි මේ පණ සෑහෙන මාස ගානක් ගිහිල්ලා මාර කිව්වට අර සතෙක් මැරලා හිටියම යාව කෑවතින් එහෙම ඒ කියන්නේ අර මොකද්ද ඒ සතාගේ කොටස් මස් කෑලි අර මේ පොඩ්ඩක් අපිට දැකලා ඇතිනේ සමහරට නේද නෝටිස් කරලා තියෙනවද කුරුල්ලෙක් එයාගේ ඇහැ ගන්නකොට එතකොට අර නිකන් අර රබර් එකක් වගේ එහාට මෙහාට මෙයා වෙනවා. එතකොට ඒක අපිට හොඳට තේරෙනවා අනත්ත් ස්වභාවය නේද? අපේ ඇඟත් ඒ වගේ තමයි. ඒක අර දැන් මෙතනට ගලපන්න ඕනේ මේ ඇඟේ කොටස් එහෙම අපි බලනකොට. එතකොට ඒක පාවිච්චි වෙලානේ පහළුනේ යම් විඥානයක්. එතකොට විඥානෙත් කොටස් වශයෙන් බලනකොට කෙනෙක් නෑ කියන එක තමන්ට තහවුරු වෙන්න ඕනේ. තේරුණාද මට? මගේ සිංහල උතර ෆ්ලෝ වෙනවා දැන් නේද? මට සතුටුයි ඒක ගැන මොකද? කියලා හැමදාම ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරාම හරියනවා කියන්නේ ඒකනේ. කවුරුත් දැන් දෙමළ කෙනෙක් කියන්නේ නැහැ මට. පාවල මේ කට්ටිය දුරින් ඉඳන් ඇවිල්ලා තියෙනවා ගොඩක් කට්ටිය මේක මහන්න. චීන දෙන්නෙක් වුණාට බලන්න කොච්චර ඉන්ට්‍රස්ට් එකක්ද. No, I'm telling about China, no? How interested you all have come far away, that shows your interest. And some come from Canada for the bigger programs in Sri Lanka. They are following like an entire group from Australia. Suddenly this program lost, but one of them I saw them in New Jersey. She's gone, I think everywhere. Australia she was there. I think she want to be a nun also, I think, like that. කණ්ඩයක් ඉන්නවා ඒගොල්ලන්ට දැන් මේක අවස්ථාවක් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ කර්මයේ ක්ලියර් කරගන්න හැමදාම කවුච්චර කාලේ ඇයිද දන්නේත් නැහැනේ මේවත් හැම එකක්ම නිකන් වැඩි දවස් තියෙනවා ඉම්පර්මනන්ට් නේ ප්‍රොජෙක්ට් ගන්න ඕනේ where all right Venerable sir that's the Samidhi 4 Samidhi 4 අන්තිම එක Venerable sir, it is said the world. In what way, Venerable sir, might there be the world or the description of the world? Where there is the I Samidhi, where there are forms, I consciousness, think to be cognized by I consciousness, there the world exists or the description of the world. Where there is ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, where there are mental phenomena, mind consciousness, things to be cognized by mind consciousness, there the world exists or the description of the world. Where there is no I, Samidhi, no forms, no I consciousness, no thing to be cognized by. So you have to imagine like empty space, emptiness, okay? By the I consciousness, there the world does not exist, nor any description of the world. Now while you have been thinking like this, you are getting used to a particular type of thinking. And simultaneously you increase your, you could say purity of your mind, okay? Suddenly this will click in a very entirely deep way. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, day after, or maybe another day after 1 week, 2 weeks, 2, 3 months. Alright. So if you're on this track of trying to know the life to what the Buddha is telling, suddenly it will trigger. These things have happened to us, that's what inspires us, and you begin to get anchored to this. And we know this is the way out finally. So this then no one has to tell you. You will be knowing it for yourself. I told you, for example, 3-dimensional those pictures. Have you seen those pictures? Like you have this picture, when you look into it, then it goes 3-dimensional, right? බුදු පිළිමරාමයම තියෙන තායි එකක්. ඒක හිතට සමාධියට හොඳයිලු එහෙම හොඳයි කියනවා. ඇත්තටම මේ ඒකේ යම් සමාධියක් තියෙනවා තමයි. මොකද මට මතකයි මම පාගමනින් එහෙම වැඩම කළා හරියට මට ආගන්තුක කාමරයක් දුන්න තැනකදී ওই පින්තූරේ තිබ්බා. ඒක බලනකොට මම බලන් ඉන්න ඕනේ මට එකපාරට පේනවා. ඒතර මට තේරුණා ඒක යම් සමාධියට සම්බන්ධයි කියලා. ඒ කියන්නේ ඒක අර ඒ වගේ මේකෙන් දැක්මක් මේ වගේම නෙමෙයි. මේක මේ ප්‍රඥාවෙන් දකින එකක් මෙතන තියෙනවා. Like same way, those kind of pictures, you have something here, but a very different way also. A wisdom, a sight, insight, a very special, very deep sight can trigger. It can be today, tomorrow, after 1 week, 1 month, and maybe even 2 years. But on this path, it can happen. Where there is no eye samadhi, no forms, no eye consciousness, no things to be cognized by the eye consciousness, there the world does not exist, no any description of the world. Where there is no ear, no tongue, no body, no nose, all these organs, no mind, no mental phenomena, no mind consciousness, no things to be cognized by the mind consciousness. There the world does not exist, nor any description of the world. I want to ask something from you all. What do you think? Now you are reading this, okay? The time you are reading. And what about in the morning? You have a very special meditation too, okay? From 3:30, 3:20. Today I couldn't come. 3:20 to like 6 o'clock. I have suggested some things, even some things I have, I have seen results in that particular time. What do you think now? You also kept reading during daytime, right? The time there or the reading you think is more merit, more kusal, more wholesome states, or more benefit, very strong benefit? Which time? That period, or what do you think the reading time?
Morning time.
Sorry? How many of you think is the reading time? කියවන වෙලාවද අර උදේ සාන්තව මෙඩිටේට් කරන වෙලාවද හිතන්නේ තමන්ගේ ලොකු මේ යහපතක් වෙන්නේ මේ අධ්‍යාත්මික ගමනේ මේ මොකද්ද දන්නේ දැන් මේ කොකටද අත උසන්නේ?
I think both are beneficial, Swami Maharaj.
Yeah, both are beneficial, correct.
Yeah,
But if you had to choose තමන්ට තෝරගන්න වුණොත් දැන් මොකද්ද වැඩියෙන් අරකද මේකද කියලා? If you had to choose which one, that one or this one, if you have to make a choice, which one would you think? How many of you think it's the reading?
Without the concentration.
No, yeah, I understand that, but say you had to choose one of these two, then you think which one you think is the most beneficial? Like you have 5 minutes before you die. Which one would you try to do? Maybe do the morning meditation or get a book and read. And not reading is not the word to be put, it's like you're trying to contemplate. Okay. So which one would you think will be in the short time the most beneficial, and you have to make a choice? Is it reading? Which people who think is the reading, raise their hand? Which people who think that that morning meditation of samadhi is more beneficial? Okay, good. So half. If I meet that yogi which I met in India, I told the background story of giving this. So what do you think his answer is? Like if I go to him back again, and what do you think his answer? Did everybody hear about that, the experience with the yogi? Or who didn't hear? You all didn't hear, no? Huh? Others, everybody heard, right? So you forgot that or what? That's also one. And to hear a Buddha's words, is it rare or not rare?
Rare.
Very rare. Is it not the company of a great friend? moment of company of a great friend is greater than 1,000 years of samadhi or whatever. It can fasten your, it can fasten your evolution progress so fast. So anyway, I don't want you to be brainwashed by my ideas, okay? You're free to think for yourself. And I think also because we didn't do this, we got this gross dirty body. Dirty means filthy body with filthy thoughts. Karma is created by raga, kleshas, a lot of defilements, and of course we have done good. It's half like the human plane, but it's not a beauty. It's not made out of gold and diamonds, right? It's made out of all, if you look at the parts inside, it's really not very good. So it's created by greed, hate, delusion, and some parts to become beautiful or something. Some compassion also has been done, and to be wise, some analyzing, contemplation, wisdom in the past. But just for this is something I'm trying to stress. It's hopefully anybody who think there's the thing. I am also too much in samadhi, tell you honestly, for years and years and years. So it's like some karma I have. But this also I have done as a young boy very deeply. It's now coming back end of my period. It's like a cycle, I think. There's cycle like again. Then තරුණ කාලේ තිබ්බ එක දැන් ඒ සූත්‍රත් එක නිවනට යන ප්‍රඥාව පැත්ත දැන් ඔන්න වයස කාලේ ඒක තමයි ප්‍රධාන මෙසේජ් එකක් දෙන්න තියෙන. That's the main message I have to give also. Not easy still. While I'm reading with you all, I can read also. Alone still I'm not yet properly, it will come slowly, I know. Mali? Yes?
Isn't what you interpret from the reading from your own 5 khandhas, which are formed from the karma from your past lives?
Sorry, can you repeat again?
Isn't what you interpret from the reading, so like let's say I read something from the Buddha, the Buddha is speaking to me right now.
Yeah.
Isn't how you interpret it based off of your khandhas?
Yeah.
And then isn't that based off of like your karma from
Yeah.
your past
Correct.
lives?
Yeah. What you inherit from the past actions.
So would it makes sense that like for some people samadhi would be more effective, and for some people the reading,
Actually both are
depending on the preparation from their khandhas?
correct. Actually both are important. If you have samadhi only, it's a very good chances for you to get that realization experience. Because the main thing, otherwise without samadhi, you will have the problem of just intellectually knowing it. It will not be a personal experience. It will not go to that level of experience. So it's true, you need both. But the problem is we don't have enough wisdom today. This contemplation has become very weak and dependent on so we must actually make sure this is really brought forward. And at least I would say, and then because this will also improve now that this retreat is like this, if you keep reading this thing, some blockages in your samadhi also should be cleared, because like a general wisdom base is going underlying. Now this fast reading and all these things, I'm sure Buddha didn't tell to do like that. I have created it to this now present situation. Okay, mixing it with but I have told also the real way, that you contemplate, and who are doing the second time I told them to sit down more for the samadhi and then to read like that to balance. That you can do if you're coming second time, or you're doing it on your own. So this is I'm doing in case I never meet you all, that you are getting you're getting the main thing, idea of the main thing, as well as that you're getting a general coverage, like the mayo, what is that, ivy, right? You have a general cocktail. So yeah, this is like a cocktail. Okay, I got this ivy recently, so it's similar. It's like a cocktail, general cocktail. But later on, if I'm getting the second ivy, they will put those specific, what are those? I don't know. Specific vitamins which is make you athletic or something. Okay, those things will be put. So that's why next time you are doing more, this is also there in the main cocktail, but this is a cocktail you are getting. And later on you will be specifically on the wisdom and what is supporting wisdom, the samadhi. You can do it on your own. It's not a big deal. You know the idea now that you have to always empty the mind by samadhi, and then not to do the emptying only, that is equanimity. And if you only stay like that, your wisdom will start to wane. Your true mindfulness will start to wane. Your true contemplation will start to wane. So you have to make sure you force or you learn to read and fix the thing to sort of go to analyze, to apply to yourself. That's important. That exercise is very different. Okay? So that's why in your daily morning practice, at least you must have a session of metta bhavana, compassion meditation, then it will anapanasati, the breath. Actually in the recording the breath is not told. Okay, that is not told means it is cut. Okay, after the compassion meditation you can focus on your breath, leaving the metta, compassion meditation. Not for too long, so that you get more peaceful. That's how I do, okay? So then you can add at home, or you can add the reading part for your daily morning routine. Okay? And that also you must learn to get a focus. Not just reading, just few suttas you already know, you had some experience, you can use that. And then these 3 weapons will work for you. And when you go out, whether it is hot sun, whether it is snowy, whether it is rain, doesn't matter. You are already sunshine in you. And that's how you control your happiness. You have happiness in you, irrespective of the outside world. So you maintain it, not allowing it to get spoiled by, being distracted, and then driving happily and doing everything very blissfully. It's not that you're waiting for some experience to get that bliss. Not experiencing, you get the bliss. 2 happinesses I have explained. It answer. Okay. Did I read this? It is disintegrating bhikkhus. A certain bhikkhu චන්න කියන එකට ආවද අපි? ආවනේ. In the morning. Okay. දැන් ආවේ නෑනේ. ඒකට ඉස්සරහ තියෙන ලෝක කියලා එකක් තියෙනවද? ලෝක කියලා සූත්‍රයක් ඊට කලින් දෙකකට වගේ ඉස්සරහ. 184. 194 single is one.
Loka Sutra.
Oh, Loka Sutra. 194 and the English one 184. Then a certain bhikkhu approached the Blessed One and said to him, Venerable Sir, it is said the world, the world. In what way, Venerable Sir, is it said the world? It is disintegrating bhikkhu, therefore it is called the world. And what is disintegrating? The I bhikkhu is disintegrating, the forms are disintegrating, I consciousness is disintegrating, eye contact is disintegrating, and whatever feeling arises with eye contact as condition, that too is disintegrating. The ear is disintegrating, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is disintegrating. Whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition, that too is disintegrating. It is disintegrating because therefore it is called the world. Any sense object experience, do you think, will it be ever not disintegrating? One day maybe Elon Musk will make something like that? Do you think it's possible? I hope it happens quickly, then I can remove my robes and join him. No, it's not that. This is the wisdom you have to get. Like you have to slowly put your thoughts. You have a silent time now. It's a wonderful atmosphere here. Okay, this is really conducive even to teenage. I think the initial, of course, not this much comfort, but this is ideal. Buddhist energy, Buddha's this thing, and if you can contemplate here, you can gain a lot of things. I felt in the morning, chanting, all these things, the atmosphere is really just like the island hermitage, but very, very, when I was in that place in the beginning. So if you can isolate yourself and do this contemplation, not get involved, at least you should not recognize who is here, where you are. That should happen all your life. Then only you can progress. When I go to the jungle, like those places, there are ancient ruins, the king's time. There are ancient ruins of ancient monks who practice. So it's like very mysterious place. The golden period one time in Sri Lanka. So all jungle now. So all who come to help me, they go, they feel missed something, maybe they will find something there. Like that they are going everywhere, walking. And they call me also, Bante, would you like to come? We are going to check that cave or that particular. I said, you can go, I am going to stay. I never move out because I know the journey is within, not this outside sensual sights. So this you have to get more mature, you have to learn to get that sight within you. So your body is in the sensual world, but you place mindfulness, sense control, and go to body attention, and then go to either samadhi or go to contemplation. These are the two things. That's very important to know as a yogi what you are doing. Even Himalayas also same. In the Himalayas, there's a lot of connection with the samadhi, consciousness. Okay? So who have experienced, they have told me those days as a young boy, when I was there, have you experienced Haridwar? Haridwar is one entrance to Himalaya area, very famous. So he told me, you have not experienced, you must sit near the Ganges, meditate. So I understood later that it's not the river we are seeing is flowing. There is a kind of higher consciousness they have experienced through that. So they know you have to sit down, you have to still yourself to be experience that. That's the very reason I'm telling you not to talk, be alone. This is what I'm trying to tell you, because this is how we know that you will know another very special insight. So we read them, and these are like pointers, and just read and just don't think whatever I told also like that, but just do the walking, try to, what you understand, try to contemplate. So, and your karma, and time to time go refuge to the Buddha in your mind, and the Dhamma and the Sangha. (185) Channa kiniki ඒ පිටු ඊළඟ පිටු වගේ තුන්වෙනි හතරවෙනි 197 ඊළඟ පිටු වගේ ඒ ළඟම තමයි තියෙන චන්න කියන මේන් ටොපික් එක යටතේ 197 සිංහලෙන් English one 185 empty is the world, now subject to disintegration. First one. Then the Venerable Ananda approached the Blessed One and said to him, Venerable Sir, it is said the world. I read this, no? In the morning. In that way, Venerable Sir, it is said the world. Whatever is subject to disintegration, Ananda is called the world in the Noble One's discipline. And what is subject to disintegration? The I is subject to disintegration. Forms, eye consciousness, eye contact. Whatever feeling arises with eye contact as condition, that too is subject to disintegration. The ear is subject to disintegration. Nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is subject to disintegration. Whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition, that too is subject to disintegration. Whatever is subject to disintegration only is called the world in the Noble One's discipline. Slowly in your slight mind, you will get a picture of each part, eye, ear, you have to get familiar, getting focused to imagining those organs and then picturing them disintegrating. Not very visual, but just noting that how they are disintegrating. This is how you are creating the wisdom eye slowly. You get this point? This is very important, okay? Empty is the world. Then the Venerable Ananda approached the Blessed One and said to him, Venerable Sir, it is said, empty is the world. Empty is the world. In what way, Venerable Sir, it is said, empty is the world? It is Ananda because it is empty of a self and of what belongs to a self, that it is said, empty is the world. And what is empty of a self and of what belongs to self? The I Ananda is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Forms are empty of self and of what belongs to self. Eye consciousness is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Eye contact is empty of self and of what belongs to self. Whatever feeling arises with mind contact, now this is short form, okay? Mind contact as condition, whether pleasant or painful or neither painful nor pleasant, that too is empty of self and of what belongs to self. So you can, that picture you must think, I told you like the bird also, if it is eaten, or you can see very clearly the body there, it's like just rubber. So with this body only he got all these other conscious states. So the consciousness, each part, it's also like so empty. You have to focus a little bit and ponder on that. The feelings he got, the perceptions he got. So it is happening to me, us also. So you are generally going to get an idea more. So in your walking meditation you can think more deeply. Seated also you can think about it a little while. So this kind of sutta like that you must not go rush. That too is empty of self, of what belongs to self. It is Ananda because it is empty of self and of what belongs to self, that it is said empty is the world. This is a very nice one. The Diet, 193. මේක අර මෙහෙම අපේ කියලා ගන්න එක එළිය කියන එකයි එකයි කියලා ගන්න එක ඒ එකයි නේද කියලා එතකොට මෙතන අපි කියලා කෙනෙක් නැහැනේ කියන සංඥාව තමයි අතකින් ගන්න ඕනේ. අර විශ්වය ඔක්කොම එකයි කියලා එන්නේ ඒකේ තියෙනවා එහෙම එකක්. ඒක සමාධියත් එක්ක ඒක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් බ්‍රහ්මණ උතුමොත් බුදුහාඳුරුත් බෝසත්ත්වයේදී එහෙම අරගෙන එතකොට ඒකේ වාස්නස් එකක් එනවා. අපි වාස්ට අපි එකයි කියන ඒක සමාධියට සම්බන්ධයි. උපේක්ෂාවට සම්බන්ධයි. එතකොට ඒක තුල ඒත් විඥානය තියෙනවා එහෙම. මෙතන බලන්නේ pure wisdom එක ගන්න. ඒ pure wisdom එකේදී ගන්නේ මෙතන එකයි මෙහෙමයි නෑ නේද මම කියලා කෙනෙක් නෑ නේද කියනකොට ඒ අර මේ කිසිම දෙයක් එහෙම වාස්ට් එකක්වත් මගේ නෙමෙයි කියලා Tamanට එහෙම ඒතර කිසි දෙයක්වත් මගේ නෙමෙයි කියන ඒකේ උපරිම අතහැරීම තියෙනවා. ඒතර නිවන තියෙනවා. එහෙම තමයි ඒක. ඒක දන්නවද පිටු සිංහලෙන්?
සිංහලෙන් මොකක්ද ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ?
ද්වය සූත්‍රය.
206 ද්වය සූත්‍රය.
193 ද්වය 1 2 කියලා දිනනවා. Because I will teach you the dyad. Listen to that. It's a very important sutta. And what because is the dyad? The eye and forms, the ear and sounds, the nose and odors, the tongue and taste, the body and tactile objects, the mind and mental phenomena. This is called the dyad. If anyone bhikkhu should speak thus, having rejected this dyad, I shall make known another dyad. That would be mere empty boast on his part. If he was questioned, he would not be able to reply, and further he would meet with vexation. For what reason? Because that would be not within his domain. We'll read the next one. Bhikkhu's consciousness, now this is the one important, okay? Bhikkhus, now this is the Buddha's type of thinking, the type of wisdom you have to develop. Bhikkhus' consciousness come to be independent on a diet. And how bhikkhus does consciousness come to be independent on a diet? Independent on the I and forms, there arises I consciousness. The I is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Forms are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Thus this diet is moving and tottering, impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. ඒක තේරුණාද? ඒක හරි important. මොකද්ද? මේ විඥානය දෙකක් හේතු කරන් තමයි පහළ වෙන්නේ කියලා බුදුහාඳුරු කියනවා. And how bhikkhus does consciousness come to be independent on a diet? Independent on the I and forms. ඇහැයි රූප හින්දා හේතු කරන් තමයි as චක්කු විඥානය හටගන්නේ. එතකොට ඇහැ මොකද්ද බුදුහාඳුරු කියන්නේ? Impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. වෙනස් වෙනවා, නැති වෙලා යනවා. හරිද? Forms are impermanent. එතකොට රූපත් එහෙමයි. නැති වෙනවා, වෙනස් වෙනවා. Becoming otherwise. Thus this dyad is moving and tottering, impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. මේ දෙකම හැම වෙලෙම නැති. වෙනස් වෙනවා, නැති වෙනවා. එම කියලා කියනවා. එතකොට කියනවා I consciousness is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Now make it important. I consciousness is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for the arising of I consciousness is also impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. When bhikkhus I consciousness has arisen independent on a condition that is impermanent, how could it be permanent? මේක බොහොම හැඟවිච්ච අමුතු ඥානයක් තියෙනවා. There's a hidden wisdom you have to get used to here. Now, I consciousness is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition. What is the cause and condition for the rising of I consciousness? Yeah. What is it? මොකද්ද මේ ඇහැ විඥාන චක්කු විඥාන හටගන්න හේතු උනේ? මොකද්ද? Oh. No. Just you read this sutta only. Don't think මොනවද අහපු එකක්. What you have read or heard, don't think. Just simply this sutta according to what you are reading. What is the cause for the rising of I consciousness? I and forms. Okay, yes, I and forms. Okay, the Buddha is giving the answer already. All right, but this way of thinking very important for your mental picture, for your contemplation. I consciousness is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for the rising of I consciousness is also impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. When bhikkhus I consciousness has arisen independent on a condition that is impermanent, how could it be permanent? The meeting, the encounter, the concurrence of these three things is called eye contact. Eye contact too is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for the arising of eye contact is also impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. So what is the condition, what is the cause for eye contact? Yes, I form and consciousness. So because now you have already known that they are going to be changing, therefore the contact has to be impermanent. Now every feeling you are getting by that contact, right? Then will you not know before it changes, even already in your wisdom eye, that this is a changing thing, it has to change every feeling? Because the contacts will be always impermanent. So a contact in anywhere in the world, any time in the future or in the past has never been permanent or will never be permanent. It will be for that small moment or whatever, as long as the conditions are there. Okay, this is very important to sort of for your contemplation. So, the mind is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The mental phenomena are impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Thus, this dyad is moving and tottering, impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. Mind consciousness is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for the rising of mind consciousness is also impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. When because mind consciousness has arisen, independent on a condition that is impermanent, how could it be permanent? The meeting, the encounter, the concurrence of these three things is called mind contact. Mind contact too is impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. The cause and condition for the rising of mind contact is also impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. When because mind contact has arisen, independent on a condition that is impermanent, how could it be permanent? Contacted because one feels, contacted one intends, contacted one perceives. Thus these things too are moving and tottering, impermanent, changing, becoming otherwise. It is in such a way because that consciousness come to be independent on a diet. එක නෝට් කරගන්න එක හොඳයි අනාගත මේ ඔක්කොම කියවන්න මම කියපු page එක දක්වා read everything to the page I have told. චක්කු ඔව් ඒ කියන්නේ attention එකයි කියමුකෝ මානසිකාර හරි පොඩි initial එන focus එක ඒක විඥානයේ මුල් අවධියක් ඒ තුනම එනකොට තමයි අර ඒක අර consciousness එක කියලා ඒකේ ඒතර වේදනා සංඥා ටික එතන පහළ වෙනවා. ඒතකොට ඒ තුන හේතු ඒ තුනම ඕනි. විඥානේ දැන් අපි 100 නැතුව හිටියනම් 100 එනකොට අර එතන ඒක වැඩ කරන්න ඒ අරමුණයි මේකයි තිබ්බට මදි. අර attention එක තිබිලා ඒ තුනම ගානට මෙය වුණාම තමයි conjunction කියලා එනවා ඉංග්‍රීසි වලින් එක වචනේ දෙන්න. ඒ දෙකේ මෙහෙම මේ හරියට ෆික්ස් වුණා. ඒක ඉතින් නිතරම වෙලාව දැන් අපිට ඒක තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක අමාරුයි වෙනවා වගේ. එතකොට මේ ඒ හේතු ටිකෙන් තමයි අර විඥානේ ෆුල් පහළ වෙන්නේ.
ඒ චක්කු විඥානයට අමතරව මට තේරෙන්නේ නැහැ වෙනස මොකද? චක්කු විඥානයයි චක්කු සමපස්සය කියන එකේ වෙනස.
චක්කු විඥානය සක්කු කොතනද ඒක? මට සිංහල එක පොඩ්ඩක් දෙන්න පුළුවන්ද? මේ තුන් ධර්මයේ යම් එකතුවක් රැස්වීමක් සමාගමක් ඇතනම් මේ මහණි චක්කු සම්පස්සයයි කියන ලැබේ. චක්කු සම්පස්සේ අනිත්‍යයි පෙළෙස් විහාරයි. චක්කු සම්පස්සේ වෙනස් වෙන සුළි මහණි අනිත්‍ය වූ ප්‍රත්‍යයෙන් චක්කු විඥාන ඉපදීමට හේතු වූ හරියයි. ඒ චක්කු විඥාන කියන්නේ ෆුල් ආපු අවස්ථාව. චක්කු සම්පස්සේ කියන්නේ අර තුන වෙන් කළා කියනකොට. ඒක ස්පර්ශය. ඒ ස්පර්ශයත් එක තමයි ෆුල් චක්කු විඥානය කියලා ෆුලි අපිට ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒකද දැන් මහණෙනි දෙක කරුණක් නිසා විඥානය හටගනී. මහණෙනි කෙසේනම් දෙක කරුණක් නිසා විඥානය හටගනී. අසත් රූපයත් නිසා චක්කු විඥානය හටගනී. අස අනිත්‍යවම කියනවා වෙනස් වෙන සුළු ඒක අනිත්‍ය පෙළසුයි. සුළු මේ ආයි. ඒකෙන්ද විඥානය කියන්නේ ෆුල් එන එක මෙසේ මේ දෙක සැලෙන්නෙත් වෙනසෙන්නෙත් වෙයි. අනිත්‍ය පෙළෙන සුළු වෙනස් වෙන සුළු. චක්කු විඥාණයට ඉපදීමට හේතු වූයේ ප්‍රත්‍ය වූ යමක් නම් එය ඒ හේතු ප්‍රත්‍ය අනිත්‍ය පෙළෙන සුළු වෙනස් වෙන සුළු. මහණේ අනිත්‍ය ප්‍රත්‍ය නිසා හටගත් චක්කු විඥානේ කොයි නිට්ටය වේද? එතකොට ඒක ඩීටේල් පෙන්නනවා. මහණෙනි මේ තුන් ධර්මයේ චක්කු විඥානට පෙර මේ තුන් ධර්මයක කඩලා පෙන්නනවා තව. තේරෙනවද? අරක ෆුල් ආපු එක. දැන් බුදුහාමුදුරු පස්සට යනවා වගේ එකක් කරන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ පස්සට කියන්නේ අර විඥානේ මෙහෙම කියනවා මෙහෙමයි එන්නේ. ඊට පස්සේ අතන කියනවා මේ දැන් අතන භාග්‍යතුන් වහන්සේ දේශනා කරනවා මේ මහණෙනි මේ තුන් ධර්මයෙන් යම් එකතුවක් රැස්වීමක් සමාගමක් ඇතනම් මෙය මහණින් චක්කු සම්පස්සයයි කියන ලැබේ. තුන් ධර්මයේ ඒ මානසිකාරය අර තුනම එකතු වෙලා තමයි ෆුල් චක්කු විඥානේ හටගන්නේ. ඒක අර කඩලා පෙන්නන විඥානේ කියන්නේ කොහොමද හටගන්නේ? අර තුන එකතු වෙන්න ඕනේ. චක්කු සම්පස්සේ කියනු ලැබෙන්නේ. චක්කු සම්පස්සේ අනිත්‍ය පෙළෙත මේ සියලු වෙනස් වෙන සුළු මහණෙනි. අනිත්‍ය ප්‍රත්‍ය නිසා උපත් චක්කු සම්පස්සේ කොයින් නිට්ටය වේද? ඒක හරි ඉම්පෝටන්ට් මේකක්. මහණෙනි ස්පර්ශ කරන ලද්දේ විඳි. ඊට පස්සේ අර විඥානය තුල ඒ ස්පර්ශයත් එක්කම විඥානය තුල තියෙන වේදනාව. ඔය ඔක්කොම ෂණයෙන් වෙන දේවල්. අර කඩලා පෙන්නනවා මේක හේතු වෙනවා අනිවාර්යෙන් අරකට. අර හේතු අනිත්‍යයෙන් පටන් ගන්නකොට ඒක අරව අනිත්‍යයටපත් වෙන්න ඕනේ. ඒතකොට හැම ස්පර්ශයක්ම අනිත්‍යයටපත් වෙන්න ඕනේ කියන තමන් මෙනෙහි කිරීමකදී වැටහීමකට එන්න ඉඩ තියෙනවා මෙහෙම බලනකොට. එතකොට ඒක ඥානයක් නුවණයක් ගන්න ක්‍රමයක් මේ භාගමික හරි මේ හිතන විදිය හරි ඉම්පෝටන්ට්. මේ හිතන විදිය තමන්ට නියම ඔරිජිනල් නිවනක් ඕන නම් මෙහෙම මේ පැත්ත හිතන්න වෙනවා ධම්මානුපස්සනාව. නැත්තම් අර සමාක හිතන එක මේක මේ තේරුම් ගන්න එක කොම්ප්ලිකේටඩ් නෑ. මේක හරි පැහැදිලි. හැබැයි අර පස්සට ගිහිල්ලා අර බලන්න ඕනේ. දැන් මේක පටන් ගත්තේ මෙහෙම අනිත්‍ය හේතු තියෙන දෙයකින්නේ. එතකොට මේක නැති වෙන්න ඕනේනේ කියලා එහෙම කල්පනා වෙන්න ඕනේ. දැන් කවදාකවත් විඥානයක් හටගන්න බෑනේ මේ ඇහැයි අර රූපත් නැතුව. එතකොට මේ ඇහැ වෙනස් වෙන ගතිය තියෙනවා. රූපේ එහෙම තියෙනවා. එහෙම නැති වෙන ඇහැක් රූපයක් කවදාත් පහළ වෙන්නේ නැහැ. එතකොට ඒක මත ඒක බේස් කරන් හටගන්න දේ අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම නැති වෙන්න ඕනේ. අන්න ඒ වගේ කල්පනා කරන එකක් නිකන් බුද්ධකලාව යනකොට ඔහි කල්පනා වෙන්න ඕනේ. එතකොටයි අර අපිට එකපාරට මාන්නේ මේකනේ ජීවිතේ අපි කියන්නේ මේ හැම කියලා මොකක් හරි ඒකේ පැහැදිලි වෙන එකක් ගැඹුරට එන්න පුළුවන්. අමත් මේක වටනා සූත්‍රයක් මේවත් වගේ තියෙනවා මේ කල්පනා කරන එක සක්මනට එම හොඳයි මේක වෙන්නේ නොවෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙන එකකින් වෙන්න පුළුවන් තමන්ට තේරෙන්නේ ඒක උනත් මේක හැබැයි ඒ ටික තේරෙන එක ගැටලුවක් නෙමෙයි මම හිතන්නේ මාළුම් කිය පුත්ත 197
211 නම්බර 1
bit slow like not to cover okay no problem page number 200 because I will teach you about one who is subject to decline, about one who is not subject to decline, and about the 6 mastered bases. Listen to that. And how bhikkhus is one subject to decline? Here bhikkhus, when a bhikkhu has 215 සිංහලෙන් 215 page number 200 page 215 නෑ මේක කරේ නෑ මහත්ය කියවලා ඇති තනියම ලාස්ට් ගියානේ
සායනසර මාළුන්‍යක් පුත් සූත්‍රයක
නෑ ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් එක තියන්න
ඊට පස්සේ පරිහාන ධම්ම සූත්‍රය 215 නම්බර 3
දිග වැඩි ආන්දරන්ට පළමු පස්සේ එන්නම් පස්සට ටිකක් කව කරන්න තියෙනවා බලනකොට පොල් කවන්නේ ඉක්මනට බලමු මේ මම දාගෙන තියෙන ඒවා මෙච්චර කව කරන්න අවශ්‍ය නැහැ පින්වතුනි. පින්වතුන්ට තනියෙන් වෙලා කියවන්න තියෙන්නේ. ඒක ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න තියෙන්නේ. එහෙම තමයි. ආන්ද්‍රෝ සමහරට වැඩියෙන් කවන්න ගියාම කන්නේත් නැති වෙන්න පුළුවන් කට්ටිය. අපේ අම්මා ඉස්සර මට කණේක ලොකු ප්‍රශ්නයක් පොඩි කාලේ. ඉස්කෝලේ යන එක වගේ. ඉතින් මම බයිසිකල් එකේ මම බයිසිකල් පදින්න දෙන්නෙත් ඒක කෑවොත් ගුලිය හදලා මම කටේ තියාගෙන ගිහිල්ලා අර අම්මට පේන්නේ නැති තැනක් තියෙනවා ඒක අනිත් එකට අම්මත් බලනවා මේ හොඳට කනවා නේද කියලා ඒ කාලේ පොඩි කාලේ හරි අමාරුයි කෑම කියන එක හරිම අමාරුයි 200 අම්මා හිතුවේ නෑ ඔච්චර ඉක්මනට ගිල්ලේ කොහමද කියලා. And how bhikkhus is one subject to decline? Bhikkhus, I will teach you about one who is subject to decline, about one who is not subject to decline, and about the 6 mastered bases. Listen to that. And how bhikkhus is one subject to decline. Here bhikkhus, when a bhikkhu has seen a form with the eye, there arises in him evil unwholesome states, memories and intentions connected with the fetters. If a bhikkhu tolerates them and does not abandon them, dispel them, put an end to them and obliterate them, he should understand this thus: I am declining away from wholesome states, for this has been called decline by the Blessed One. What I spoke initially in the program or when I came today, it applies a little bit like daydreaming or something. You must try to avoid it. You must try to chant, but not fighting. That is also a wise way to, to be tactful also, but you make effort also. Further bhikkhus, when a bhikkhu has heard a sound with the ear, cognize a mental phenomena with the mind, there arises in evil unwholesome states, memories and intentions, connected with the fetters. If the bhikkhu tolerates them and does not abandon them, dispel them, put an end to them and obliterate them, he should understand this thus: I am declining away from the wholesome states, for this has been called decline by the Blessed One. In such a way, bhikkhus, that one is subject to decline. And how bhikkhus is one not subject to decline? Here bhikkhus, when a bhikkhu has seen a form with the eye, there arises in him evil, unwholesome states, memories and intentions connected with the fetters. If the bhikkhu does not tolerate them, but abandon them, dispel them, put an end to them and obliterate them, he should understand this thus: I am not declining away from wholesome states, for this has been called non-decline by the Blessed One. So it applies to all the 6 organs. Next one also, dwelling negligently. Just the next sutta. And how bhikkhus does one dwell negligently? If one dwells without restraint over the eye faculty, the mind is soiled among forms cognizable by the eye. If the mind is soiled, there is no gladness. This is very important sutta. I tell people that they have like a happiness without a reason and a sadness without a reason. You may be able to understand from this. And how bhikkhus does one dwell negligently? If one dwells without restraint over the eye faculty, the mind is soiled among forms cognizable by the eye. If the mind is soiled, there is no gladness. When there is no gladness, there is no rapture. When there is no rapture, there is no tranquility. When there is no tranquility, one dwells in suffering. The mind of one who suffers does not become concentrated. When the mind is not concentrated, phenomena do not become manifest. Because phenomena do not become manifest, one is reckoned as one who dwells negligently. If it applies to all the other organs, and then it is in such a way, bhikkhus, that one dwells negligently. And how bhikkhus does one dwell diligently? If one dwells with restraint over the eye faculty, the mind is not soiled among forms cognizable by the eye. If the mind is not soiled, gladness is born. When one is gladdened, rapture is born. When the mind is uplifted by rapture, the body becomes tranquil. One tranquil in body experiences happiness. The mind of one who is happy becomes concentrated. When the mind is concentrated, phenomena becomes manifest. Because phenomena becomes manifest, that means the Dhamma becomes clear. Okay, this Dhamma I tell you, you might get suddenly, oh, because you have that concentration. The Buddha tells the type of concentration the Buddha tells. One is reckoned as one who dwells diligently. So it applies to all the other sense organs too. 204. Not yours. Because whatever is not yours, abandon it. When you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. And what is it? Because that is not yours. The I is not yours, abandon it. When you have abandoned it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. Forms are not yours. Eye consciousness is not yours. Eye contact is not yours. Whatever is feeling arises with eye contact as condition, whether pleasant or unpainful or neither painful nor pleasant, that too is not yours. Abandon it. When you abandon it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. You must picture all these parts. The ear is not yours. The nose, the tongue, the body, the mind is not yours. Whatever feeling arises with mind contact as condition, that too is not yours. Abandon it. When you abandon it, that will lead to your welfare and happiness. Suppose because people were to carry off the grass, sticks, branches and foliage in this Jeta grove, or to burn them or to do with them as they wish, would you think people are carrying us off or burning us or doing with us as they wish? Now that much impersonal you must become. Okay, that way when you separate, this will be very helpful. I tell you, when you go for a doctor checkup, okay, and this way if you have practiced these things, it will be very helpful for you to just let go and see, like, it's not my material. If my material, it should be that I could control them. No, Venerable Sir. For what reason? Because, Venerable Sir, that is neither ourself nor what belongs to ourself. Do you have anything that belongs to us? Yes, it's correct. Nothing, yes. So too, because the I is not yours. Whatever feeling arises with a cinch. (208). I am superior. It is like no me loka මොකක් හරි origin හරිනේ 224 සිංහල English one 208. Because when what exists, I am superior කියන එක. Because when what exists, by clinging to what, by adhering to what does the thought occur, I am superior, or I am equal, or I am inferior. Venerable Sir, our teachings are rooted in the Blessed One. When there is the I, because by clinging to the I, by adhering to the I, the thought occurs, I am superior, or I am equal, or I am inferior. When there is the ear, the nose, the tongue, the body, the mind, by clinging to the mind, by adhering to the mind, the thought occurs, I am superior, or I am equal, or I am inferior. What do you think, because with the eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind, permanent or impermanent? So that's a way of looking. But without clinging to what is impermanent, suffering, and subject to change, could the thought occur, I am superior, or I am equal, or I am inferior? No, Venerable Sir. Because I will teach you the things that fetter and the fetter. Listen to that. And what bhikkhus are the things that fetter, and what is the fetter? The I bhikkhus is a thing that fetters. The desire and lust for it is the fetter there. The ear is a thing that fetters. Nose, tongue, the body, the mind is a thing that fetters. The desire and lust for it that's a very important one. Okay? These are called the things that fetter, and this is the fetter. So you are using the eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, and then getting desire. So the desiring is something separate from the organs themselves. Okay. Next one also very good. And what bhikkhus is a thing that can be clung to. And what is the clinging? Eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, the mind. The arahants, do they need to get another eye, ear, nose, tongue, body? Why? Sorry? Do they need? Why don't they need? Because they have no clinging nature at all. So in the eye, ear, nose, tongue, the body, it is used for clinging. Okay? So why is the problem getting a body? What happens? You have to face all the suffering. So not getting a body is the final solution. Very important, this one good. $210. මොකද්ද? page එක මොකද්ද this? මේ ඊළඟ පිටුවේ. ඊළඟ පිටුව කියන්නේ සූත්‍ර දෙවෙනි තුන්වෙනි සූත්‍රය වගේ. මාර කියලානේ මාර.
228.
ඒ ළඟම තියෙන්නේ. 210. Because there are forms cognizable by the eye that are desirable, lovely, agreeable, pleasing, sensually enticing, tantalizing. If a bhikkhu seeks delight in them, welcomes them and remains holding to them, he is called a bhikkhu who has entered Mara's lair, who has come under Mara's control. Mara's snare has been fastened to him so that he is bound by the bondage of Mara, and the evil one can do with him as he wishes. You can see something, you get attracted to something, okay? And slowly, especially people who have got married, they know this. Like, they just have to be quiet, they have to tolerate, they have to bear. That's a big chain. But there's a laugh in everybody, yeah? They can relate to. But this is very important. If you are not married, I tell being married is like being a monk. If you are not going to put on robes, then you should be like that. Otherwise, if you allow yourself to, get distracted and create temporary kind of, that's greater karma. That's why this institution was made for more protection for your enlightenment goal. So, I will take a rest and come. Take a little bit. I will just take a small rest and come, okay? You also take a little rest, okay? Just 15 minutes.